Welcome back, my friends, to Marvel Snap. Today we're actually not playing any deck. This deck plays itself. That's right, we are finally breaking out the Agatha Harkness deck. Agatha starts in your hand and plays your cards for you, very similar to Ego. Now, the uninitiated will say that this is purely a meme deck, but there is a segment of the player base that takes playing the Agatha decks as a guilty pleasure, and there are a number of ways that you can actually even things out to be competitive in your games. The first hurdle that we face is getting Agatha out of our hand so that we can actually play our cards instead of the mindless AI. Though she is not entirely mindless, we're going to pick that up in a second. So we are employing Lady Sif to be able to cut Agatha, send her to the discard pile, but then we still want to be able to benefit from this 14 strength body, so we have the Ghost Rider to be able to redeploy her at a later turn. We also have Wave to be able to cheat her out a little bit earlier. Now, Agatha is hard-coded to play herself if that is a possibility. So if you play Wave, Agatha will always play herself afterwards. It will just be still to a random location, but you have a little bit of control there in making sure that she hits the board. To be able to give us some early tempo, we've got the Quicksilver, the Domino. We don't want the Agatha AI putzing around with other smaller drops, and so the only 3 drops we want to employ are Wave and Lady Sif. If there are other cards brought in on the lower energy curve, she might actually play those cards instead of the Wave with the Lady Sif, so we're very much handcuffed in the early portions of the energy curve for the deck. And then we get overloaded a little bit in 4 drops as we start to flesh things out at the point where we're going to be able to take the deck over. So that is why we are running Sera. Sera comes in on turn 5 to allow us to play potentially 2 4-drops on turn 6. We also have America Chavez here to make the deck a little bit more consistent. This is the final note that I want to mention here for the Agatha deck. With Jubilee thinning and with America Chavez waiting in hand, and because Agatha appears in your hand to start. So your opening hand is actually going to be 5 cards. You get your 3 starters, Agatha, and then you draw on turn what? If I could get my hand into the camera. So you're able to very consistently understand what cards you're going to be seeing. If you put magic in here, you're going to be guaranteed to see every single card in your deck as long as you're able to play magic out. Final note before we get into gameplay is that Taskmaster plays beautifully in this deck if you're following the energy curve of playing Wave on 3, Agatha on 4, Taskmaster on 5. Getting these 2 14 strength bodies is fantastic. I don't have Taskmaster currently in the collection, but I would be replacing Iron Man or maybe Jessica Jones to be able to throw the Taskmaster in there. Let's dive into battle and see how she plays. Agatha is always a fun ride. She's got extra voice lines as she's playing out your cards for you. Really interesting. So we're just going to sit back and see how these opening turns go and then wait for the prime opportunities to be able to take the deck over. This deck, quite fun. It can get thrown off dramatically, depending on if you don't find Wave or Lady Sif, and especially locations that potentially throw things off by automatically playing cards or changing the energy curve of cards. This can be very problematic for Agatha to be able to deal with. She really doesn't understand how to handle this situation, and then you can get stuck with Agatha piloting the deck the entire way through, which is almost guaranteed to be a loss. Maybe not. I don't think that the deck really has enough to be able to leverage a win if we don't take over, especially because we're running some of the counterplay options. We have Shang-Chi in here right now, just because I was feeling like Enchantress was missing too often, but Enchantress fits in at the same energy curve and does a very similar job in terms of countering the opponent's deck. When we built the deck on stream, I was actually getting a lot of recommendations from chat to run, Thor. But that was before Thor's buff taking him to a 3 cost. At 3 cost, he competes with the cards that we have to have targeting Agatha, and so we can't really run Thor with the deck anymore. The reason that you were running Thor before is because of the consistency in thinning out the deck. You're more likely to be able to see the Mjolnir. And there we got the cut. So we're holding Ghost Rider in reserve. We have the Jubilee to be able to thin out, and we are guaranteed the Jubilee is going to be hitting something fantastic. Turn 5, we're also getting a free card. We're getting 2 free cards? This game is going to pop off. Let's go Jubilee. Be able to see what we get. They're playing self-destruction here, so the Shang-Chi is going to be a very powerful piece, unless they're not actually playing self-destruction. But usually self-destruction is going to culminate in this pinnacle big body that you can take care of with the Shang-Chi. Okay, now hang on. Turn 5, put a card here. Putting a card there is not playing a card, right, Jess? Right? Oh, dear. Let's get the Sera down to guarantee that she plays. And Shang-Chi is likely to come out because of Grand Central, which would be unfortunate, but it can also be unavoidable here. The opponent is flipping first. Maybe we'll be able to catch them out with a Shang-Chi anyway. Though wouldn't that be spicy? Okay, so the Jess steps up. Brood hits the board. It's a Patriot deck. Why are you running Carnage in the Patriot deck? Or if it's not Patriot, is this body spam with Blue Marvel? The Ghost Rider. Agatha hits the board. We snap as soon as that happens. Shang-Chi. Why am I flipping first on the Grand Central? The opponent has the opponent still has the glowing border, but I guess we technically have the initiative at this point, controlling 2 of the locations. They just don't update the overlay until a new turn. Fascinating. The Chavez is bigger playing to Grand Central, but the Iron Man is bigger playing to Atlantis. Which one do we want? Does it make a difference? I am of the mind that it is advantageous. And why are you buffed? Hang on. Oh, you copied the Ant-Man. I was like, there was no Mr. Negative. What is happening? I'm normally of the mind that I want to, on the final turn, be able to surmount the opponent in new locations rather than shore up my strength in the existing locations, because I've just been burned so many times. The opponent retreating there because, yeah, we certainly had it. Agatha will always take all the boosters at the end of every single match. And she also has the comic voice line of grabbing those. Quite fun. Are we actually going to be able to climb here with Agatha? That would be incredible. And if you guys are enjoying the Marvel Snap content, show some love to the video. Leave a like down below. Leave a comment. But I talk all things Snap down in the comments, but especially card substitutions, optimizations for the deck. I read all the comments. Love chatting down there. And I think it's quite fun with this deck that you get 2 cards that have animations to appear in your hand. The Agatha does a little purple burst, and then the Quicksilver zips in. Though I do detest the Quicksilver base art. It's just incredibly boring. Unlikely that it'll ever be updated. And it's one of your starter cards. Or is it a starter card? Or do you just simply receive it immediately on the collection track? One or the other. When we get the full launch, I am planning on starting a new free-to-play account to be able to dive back into that early game meta and kind of feel out the decks there, be able to lend what I've learned from the beta and how to quickly level up an account and build decks and compete there. I think it'll be some fun content coming out right around the release. Really hoping to carry a lot of momentum as we get in there. We have the Wave here. Now, previously we activated the Lady Sif Ghost Rider combo to be able to play Agatha. Here we have the Wave route, and we can actually go straight into either Sera or Iron Man, which is quite fun. Which one would we prefer? Getting the Sera, the advantage is being able to play 2 of our 4 drops on turn 6. If one of them is Jessica Jones is not that great on turn 6. She needs the extra turn to percolate and generate that extra couple power. So I think I'm going to be leaning toward Iron Man. So also the debris here choking off our board spaces. This is where Agatha guaranteed to play herself if possible. Coming down to Nowhere. That's the what. Nowhere can really screw the deck over. Agatha's AI is totally fine with playing Wave or Lady Sif to Nowhere and then just bricking the deck opportunities. It's quite unfortunate. It looks like we are surrendering Wakanda. The opponent already played their Hobgoblin. So what else do they have to harass us with? Not that much, honestly. I would like to play Iron Man to Xandar. I feel like this is a high value play. And then for the final turn, it could be Jubilee. Jubilee is quite fun. I'm also hoping, what would we be able to draw? If I draw Lady Sif, no. Interesting. Our final turn could be a little bit flat here, playing the Iron Man now instead of the Sera. But I'm feeling good about the match overall. The Agatha body is so oppressive, getting the 14 strength. And that Storm surely is not going to help them catch up. Neither is Cord. I think we're in excellent place here. The Iceman flips. Yeah, also not that impressive, especially because it's been canceled. Well, we might just be boring and throw down the Chavez yet again. Completely valid. Or, do we follow my own advice? I could play to Wakanda and be able to tie the opponent. That's a tricky one. I think either one is valid. For some reason right now, I am more in favor of playing to nowhere. Just the way I'm feeling it out. Let's log it in. Do they have a way to be able to surmount us at flooding? They could. They could have an enormous body as a 6-drop here. You only have the Scorpion. I was kind of expecting the Magneto. The Magneto really would have burned us, and then they send the Green Goblin back. Yeah. Another win for Harkness. Are you guys out there excited for the House Harkness or the Coven of Chaos TV show that has been announced? I don't know. At first, just being like, I loved Agatha in WandaVision, but then I felt like Wanda's storyline just got spit on in Multiverse of Madness. So I don't know. On the one hand, if they bring Wanda back to be able to extend her storyline, I would like that because I like the character and I like the development that she's ended up getting. But at the same time, Marvel is facing the problem that no characters stay dead. And they need to have some stakes for the heroes. Otherwise, I feel like the tension is gone for the movies. You lose some of the gravitas that you had brought in with, the death of, spoilers, the death of Black Widow, exiting of Captain America from the team, the death of Iron Man. Boy, I hope everybody has seen the Infinity War saga. That's fair game, right, guys? We're going to go Lady Sif here. Cut up the Agatha. And then we're desperately searching for Ghost Rider to be able to bring her back. Killmonger pops the Quicksilver. Unfortunate, but it's happened. There's the Ghost Rider. I would rather play Jess Jones right now and have her stack some power. And then activate the Sera. This is the perfect time for Sera, giving us access to both Shang-Chi and the Ghost Rider for our turn 6 swing. We can make significant plays here. They show Hellcow. What is your deck? Why are you running Hellcow, Killmonger, Scorpion? I've never seen these cards together. Yeah, sure, the bot may know something that I don't know, but I find it unlikely. So our goal here is Ghost Rider can burst power at the mini lab. Shang-Chi can come in and swing things quite well. Jess Jones is a very flexible card slot here. You could be running Rescue. You could be running Crossbones if you want to be able to get the immediate power, but at the cost of only being able to play to a location that you are already winning at. The opponent has snapped. Well, we have to play Ghost Rider to be able to activate Agatha. This gives us Shang-Chi and only Shang-Chi. Honestly, I think playing to Atlantis is the better play. Yeah, as though it was debatable. It's quite obvious to me. What does the opponent have that could stack up to Agatha? Little to nothing. Also, because they flip first, we can't get caught out by the Shang-Chi. Check out the stream where we were playtesting this. Oh man, we had Agatha cheated out, and the opponent on the same turn that Agatha was getting played by Wave, they played Shang-Chi to kill her. And because of the order of cards flipping, they were able to get the kill immediately. No sane human player does that, but the cheater bots do. We go straight for Washington. Sometimes the mind of the AI is difficult to parse out. There we go. Agatha, return! +8 cubes? Are we climbing with Agatha? Here is the deck in all of its glory. Is it going to be taking the meta by storm? No. But is it fun? It's very fun, and it is about as competitive as an Agatha deck can be. You hang into a lot of games, the Shang-Chi really being the piece that lets you hang into a lot of difficult matches. Agatha when cheated out prevents enormous tempo early on in the game. Now, if the opponent has Shang-Chi, you suffer a lot. So then you get into the argument of, do you want to run armor to replace Domino, who's here in a row to be able to present more early tempo? It's a good discussion. Let me know down in the comments. We have many more Marvel Snap projects in the works, so stay tuned for our next episodes. Till next time, thank you guys for watching, and keep on snapping.